So what did you say? I forgot already. You're going to change everything into 2's. So 4 is 2 squared. 16 is 2 to the 4th. And 2 is just 2. I would suggest that you always go with the smallest common base. Okay? It is possible to write these as powers of 4, but it's much harder and it involves fractional exponents. So let's go down as low as we can go. All right, now what does this become? 2 to the 6th. And this is 2 to the 12th. And that, of course, is still 2 to the 19th. Now, what do we do with these two? Add them. So that's 2 to the 18th over 2 to the 19th. What's going to happen? We get 1 over 2, don't we? Don't all the 2's cancel except one of them in the bottom? So the answer to that is 1/2. What do we do here? We have this 7/8 to negative 6.
Flip them.
Flip them and make it 8/7 squared. When you flip them, the exponent becomes positive. And now we just square everything. 64 49ths.
Yep.
All right. So now, here, let's see new paper. So now,
Oh, he doesn't have a lot of.
all right, number 3. Oops, negative. So a negative exponent is going to flip our fraction. So 36x to the 8th over 25. But now I have a fractional exponent. What do we do with a fractional exponent? It's not a reciprocal. It's a radical. It's a radical. So under the radical is 36x to the 8th over 25. What kind of radical is it? It's a square root. First power. Remember, this tells you what kind of radical you have. What root do you have? You have a square root. And you're raising it to the first. Well, the square root of 36 is 6. Remember, this started out as x to the 8th to the 1/2. We multiply those, right? So what's 8 times 1/2? 4. The square root of x to the 8th is x to the 4th. Because x to the 4th times x to the 4th is x to the 8th. And then the square root of 25 is 5. And there's our answer. All right, 5x to the negative 3rd over 5x to the negative 3rd. Now, be careful. This is not like this one. There are negative exponents in that, but it's not the whole problem. So I'm not gonna flip the whole problem. I'm just gonna move the parts that have the negative exponent. So 5 isn't moving. X cubed is, this whole thing is, so it's gonna go to the top and become 5x cubed, 5x quantity cubed. So what have I got? I've got 5 cubed is 125, x cubed. So these will cancel. And it looks like my answer is 625. All right, what about this guy? What about that? 8 over x squared. Done.
Attaboy.
Done. What about this one?
Could be.
We're gonna flip it. And then square it. Is that okay with everybody? Flip first, and then square. Everything in number 7, did you notice, is a power of 3. Not just divisible by 3, it's a power of 3. 3 to a power, that's the key. So we have 3 to the 7th, and then we have 3 squared to the 10th, and then 3 cubed to the 9th. Is everybody okay with that? Guys, yeah, good. All right, here we go. We have 3 to the 7th times 3 to the 3 to the 20th over 3 to the 27th. So this is 3 to the 27th over 3 to the 27th, which is 1. Because something divided by itself is 1. All right? Jimmy? Good? All right, last one. Please do not cancel 8 into 24. One option you have is to think about what this problem says. It says 8 times 8 times 8 times 8 times 8. 24 times 24 times 24 times 24. That's what it says. Now that 8 will cancel into this 24. And that one, and that one, and that one. So if you want to do the problem this way, you absolutely can. What would be our answer? On top we have 8, right? And on the bottom we have 81. That will work. It becomes tedious if these are like 50s and 40s, right? Then I really don't want to write all that out. So another strategy is to remember that 24 is 3 times 8. So what I have is 8 to the 5th over 3 to the 4th, 8 to the 4th. These 4 will cancel into here and leave just one left. So now I have 8 on top and 3 to the 4th on the bottom. Same exact thing I got here. This will always work. It's just, gotta be careful if the exponents get too big because it takes a long time. Okay? All right, there's one more side to this practice. We're gonna do that tomorrow. No, Wednesday. And then Thursday, we're having an exponent quiz.
Yeah.
Okay? So one more day to practice.
No.
Okay. All right, so we'll put that away.
I won't be here Thursday.
Why does she always like?
Yeah, he likes it. He's always
Even though I like skip.
Are you going to go next week? Or you're gonna miss next week?
I'll be here.
Do you think you're leaving for Thanksgiving?
I'm leaving
You
tomorrow.
like, you just spray me with water.
I would never.
All right, 3.2, here we go, page 34 in our notes, starting section 3.2. Identify the following as growth or decay. Give the initial value and the percentage of growth and decay, or decay. So problem 1A. Does anybody have any idea whether it's growth or decay?
It's good.
I heard both. It's a decay. Why is it a decay? The number that we are multiplying by, 0.963, is less than 1. Now, you guys, I need you to pay attention here. Here's 1. 1 is like stable. If you multiply by 1, nothing changes. If you multiply by something bigger than 1, it's growth, right? If you multiply by something less than 1, it's decay. Now, the amount of growth, the percentage of growth or decay, is how much you vary from 1. So in other words, 0.963 is 0.037 less than 1. So problem A represents 3.7% decay. Because your percentage is how much less than 1 you are or how much more than 1 you are. Okay, it isn't the number. It's the difference between the number and 1. So A is, the difference is 0.037. So your percentage is 3.7% decay. Okay, so what about, oh wait, what is the initial value? 5,670. Okay, B, our initial value is 3.75. This is a growth problem, and the percentage is 7.2. Because 1.072 is 0.072 more than 1. And the amount more than 1 you are is your growth percentage. All right, number 2, now you're writing your own functions. All right, so y equals, initial value is 21. What's going to go here if I am increasing 21%?
1.021.
No,
1.021. 1.21. Isn't 0.21 21%?
It would be 0.2021.
Okay. B, initial value is 0.6, and we're decreasing 3%?
Equals 0.6.
0.0.
Not very good.
0.97.
Let's go, didn't write anything.
Why is it 0.97? Because 3% is 0.03, and 1 minus 0.03 is 0.97.
Right.
Remember, this number is always 1 plus the growth or 1 minus the growth for decay, right? All right, the initial value is 6. And we are doubling doesn't doubling mean 200%? 2. Now, I'm not gonna put to the x, because I don't know if you noticed, this was every 3 days.
So it's 1/3.
Exactly.
Attaboy.
1/3 x.
Yeah.
Or x over 3, it doesn't matter, you can do x over 3 if you like that better. Good job,
That's
Jim.
the Jim.
Thank you.
The initial value is 200,
How much, Johnny?
and we are having, taking half. So you take half of something, it's 50%. And it's every 6 years, so x over 6, or 1/6 x. All good? Okay, now you're gonna write the equation of an exponential function. This time, so y equals a times b to the x, that's where I'm going. And I've got 0, 4, and 5, 8.05. Okay? Let's start with this point now. There are 4 letters in this equation. Right here are 2 of them, x and y. So 4 equals a times b to the 0,
And that B will be.
but b to the 0 is 1. So this is like saying 4 is a. So at this point, I have y equals 4 times b to the x. So 8.05 equals 4 times b to the 5th.
Yeah.
So now what?
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll divide by 4. And I know that'll be some decimal, but I'm not gonna type it in, I don't know what it is.
Whoa.
What do I need to do now? Get rid of that 5, and how do we get rid of that 5? With a radical. But it's not a square root, it is a fifth root. To fifth root on your calculator, you have 2 choices. You can, if you go to your math menu, press the math button, you see right down there, there's an option that looks like this. That is your X root button. Now, on my calculator, I have to type the 5 in first, and then I type that button.
Wait, what did you say?
In the math menu, pay attention. You guys have different capabilities on your calculator. figure out how to use that button.
5 and then 8.05 divided by.
And make sure you get 1.15.
Yes, I did. Bang, bang, trick.
Now, I said there were two options. One option is to use your exponent button, that will always work. Another option is to remember that if you want to fifth root, you can actually raise it to the 1/5 power. So if you'd rather raise it to the 1/5 power, that will accomplish the same thing. Remember, fractional exponents are roots, so you can do it either way. Okay, so your answer to the problem was y equals 4 times 1.15 to the x. You will never combine these two numbers. In your formula, it's two separate numbers, a times b to the x.
So you have to just put the number both times.
Huh?
You just have to remember to like have separate numbers.
Yeah, they're separate numbers.
But the little dot.
All right, now, we just did number 3. You and your partner do number 4. It is exactly the same thing.
You like, come on.
You are coming up with an A and a B so that you can write your equation.
Yep. Point 83, 0.84.
Good job.
Y is equal to 3 times 0.84. I'll have a brain, a frontal lobe.
This is what I came up with.
Yes, sir.
Did anybody, any of you come up with that?
You put 8.84 in that, you do it like that.
You just have to watch whatever the rounding directions are. Did you get that number? So everybody's good? Eric, did you get this number? Y'all good?
So the final answer has to be in the equation.
Yes. Your job is to write the
Are
equation.
those separate?
Eli, A times B to the x.
Oh, okay. I think I thought you put the times, like, simple, you do the dot.
You can, the parentheses function the
Okay.
same way.
Okay, that's what
This 3? That's your, yeah, we did.
Oh,
That's your initial value.
I'm only taking this.
All right. Girls back there, you got it?
Okay.
Girls over there? And Miles?
Michael, are you locked in?
Okay.
I'm good too.
What?
Now we're gonna write the equation of a logistic function. So remember, exponential is this format. That's what we just did. Logistic is this format. So when we do a logistic function, there are 3 things we have to find. We have to find an A, a B, and a C.
Wow, she's advanced right
Okay, so let's see what we know. We have an initial value is 10. We have the limit to growth, and it is 40. And it contains the 0.1, 20. Now, when we did the two problems we just finished, we were given only 2 points. Which one did we start with both times? The one that had 0, the y-intercept, the one that had 0. In these problems, they don't tell you the points. You have to understand that the initial value is the y value when x is 0. The initial value is 0, 10. That's the point, 0, 10. And start with that point, just like we did before. So I'm gonna come over here, and I'm gonna plug in 0, 10. Do you remember what we talked about, the limit to growth? Where did we find the limit to growth? We talked about these before. Anybody remember? It was A. It was the number on top. So I know this is 40. And I know that if I plug in 0 for x, I get 10. What's c to the 0?
1.
So isn't this just 10 equals 40 over 1 plus b? Is that solvable? Yeah.
Would you plug in for C?
So I'm going to multiply, so I got 10 plus 10b equals to 40.
Oh, zeros already filled
10 plus 10b equals 40. Which means 10b equals 30 and b equals 3.
Plug it back.
So now I know that A is 40 and B is 30. The only thing I have left to find is C. C?
Is B not 3?
Oh, what did I say, 30? What was 30?
10B equals 30.
Jimmy, what?
Yeah, B was 3, not 30. Thank you, Jimmy.
What's yours?
I don't know why I said 30. B is 3.
Pardon the interruption. Can you please send Michael Lottie to Student Services?
Okie dokie. Hurry, run.
Run.
Miss this. Go. Okay.
Yeah,
Now,
why do you go the other way?
how am I gonna find, my C value now?
You're
I
gonna
know.
put 20 in for Y.
I know one more thing.
20 in for Y.
I know that if Y is 20, X is 1.
Yes.
So C to the first is just C. So multiply this over, so 20 plus 60C equals 40.
C equals 1/3.
60C equals 20 and C equals 1/3.
Then we have to finish it, actually.
So then we'll just come back to our equation, and we'll put 1/3 in right here. Do we multiply the 3 and the 1/3? Nope, those are separate. You have a B and you have a C. Those are separate numbers. And here is your equation. We'll do one more together, and then you guys can do one on your own. Okay, so let's write down what we're shooting for. A over 1 plus BC to the X. initial value is 16. We know our limit to growth is 128, and we got the 0.5 comma 32. What's A? 128. Remember, the limit to growth is A. The numerator, we talked about that before. The top asymptote, remember when we talked about the asymptotes, the top one? Translate this for me. The initial value is 16. What does that mean? 0, 16. Your initial value is always 0, comma. So 16 equals 128 over 1 plus BC to the 0.
So there's just one person.
Since C to the 0 is just 1, 16 equals 128 over 1 plus B. Are we following along? We'll move this over. So 16 plus 16B equals 128.
Yeah.
16B equals 112. And 112 divided by 16 is 7. So B is 7. You still with me, guys? So where's my equation? So B is 7. So I know A is 128. Now I know B is 7. All right, one more step, and that's to plug this guy in. So 32 equals 128 over 1 plus 7 C to the 5th. Now what? Multiply this over. So 32 plus 224 C to the 5th. We check that on my calculator. 32 times 7. Yep. Now what? So 90, so 224 C to the 5th equals 96. And C to the 5th equals, I think, 3/7 when I reduce the fraction. On your calculator, if you do 96 divided by 224, and then hit math frac, your math menu fraction button, it'll change it into 3/7 for you. But be careful, that's C to the 5th. We need C. So what are we gonna have to do? Fifth root it, or raise it to the 1/5 power, whatever flips your switch. And that's gonna give us C. I got 0.844. Did you? So here is your final answer. There are a few steps there to go through. The good news is you got A. D is usually pretty easy to find, C is the trickier. All right, you ready to try the next one on your own? Now, problem C is exactly the same, except there's a picture drawing. What's your limit to growth? What's your A? 20, right? Then you're gonna plug in 0.5, that's your initial value, and then you're gonna plug in 210. So you and your partner figure that out. Let's see how you do. Remember, this is what you're shooting for right here. As you work through the problem, look up here and see, if we're matching. I did it in 3 distinct steps, try to keep it organized for you. Anybody match mine? I'd like some validation. Royce, really?
Yeah.
Good job. Did Charlie help you, or did you
No.
do it by yourself?
I don't think Charlie's done it.
He said he's dialed in. I mean, so we need more. Proud of you.
Eli, I was thinking better than everyone.
All right, how are we doing? Are we okay?
Yeah.
All right, gotta get a couple more down here. Spread of the flu. The number of students infected with flu after T days is given by this equation. Do you recognize it's a logistic equation? initial number of infected students. Now, remember, 800 is not the initial value. 800 is the limit to growth. So apparently there are 800 kids in the school. That's all we can get sick. The initial value is y when x is 0. That's the initial value. To find the initial value, you let x be, or in this case t, be 0. So you have 800 over 1 plus 49 e to the 0.
16.
And e to the 0 is 1. So we have 800 over 1 plus 49,
Oh, I didn't do it. I just did 800.
which is 800 over 50, which is what?
16.
16.
Let's go.
So the initial number of kids sick is 16. When will the number of infected students be 200? So here's our equation. Where are you gonna put the 200? Where does it go? Over here, right? So you now need to solve 200 equals 800 over 1 plus 49 e to the negative 0.22 power. Oh my goodness gracious. You know how to do this,
Been
believe
there,
it or
seen
not.
that.
You learned it last year. However, we also have the capability of graphing it. So this will be one equation, so like y1 is 200, and y2 is that. Make sure you're typing that in correctly. And then we will look to see where they overlap. Remember, to get E, you press second ln. Second ln is how we get E.
And my calculator as well. Get a time for the start. Yeah, we gotta change something.
What's your window?
You guys need to start figuring out your own window. I'll tell you in a minute, but I want you to struggle with it. Because I'm not telling you on test day.
Let's just go straight, wait, over.
I got 13.966, or about 14 days, is when we have 200 sick kids. For my X's, I did 0 to 20, and for my Y's, I did 0 to 250.
I still don't see it.
This is 4. One of the, I still, the one of your X, and your X max is 800, because that's like how many students there are. Like, would that work?
Okay, now, remember, X is time. So that's not gonna be
So is
800.
the Y max?
You could make that be 800, but why, I know what, my Y's 200. So you can go to 800 if you want, but that, you know what Y is. Y has to be, I use 250. It has to be a little bit more than 200.
Yeah, but we're at
Okay. So I got an answer here. Now I'm gonna solve this algebraically. And we're not gonna have time to do any more than this. So I need everybody paying attention. Write down my answer up here, it's about 14 days. And I'm gonna see what happens, it actually was 13.996 or something like that. All right. So 200 equals 800 over 1 plus 49 e to the negative 0.2t. You and I have not solved something like this before, but you certainly did last year. So pay attention. Here we go. We're going to multiply the denominator over to here. So I'm going to have 200 times 1 plus 49 e to the negative 0.2t equals 800, just like I did earlier. Now I'm going to divide by 200. So I'll have 1 plus 49 e to the negative 0.2t equals 4. Does that make sense to everybody? Now what do you think I'm going to do? Subtract the 1. So 49 e to the negative 0.2t equals 3. Now what do you think I'm going to do? Divide by 49, beautiful. So e to the negative 0.2t equals 3 over 49. That doesn't reduce, just leave it be. Leave it be, it's fine. And now I'm going to ln both sides. And the beauty is that when you ln and e, they cancel because they're inverses of each other. So negative 0.2t equals ln 3/49. And we're looking for t, folks, so all we need to do is divide. So ln 3/49 divided by negative 0.2. With any luck, it's really close to 14. Oh my gosh, 13.966. Remember, that's what I got before. So there are 2 ways that you can answer that question. All right, the next 3 minutes, do C. Either way. C is the same question, except you want to know when there are 300 kids sick. So we're going to do exactly the same thing, only this is going to be a 300. got about 17 days. 16.9.
No, I thought we were